Hey guys, welcome back to the Jellyverse channel. I'm super happy that you're here. Today I'm here with Ben and we're gonna do a recap of the year. I think everyone is very excited for the holidays. Maybe some of you also will go to vacation, and we thought why not use the time before that and also do a short recap on everything that happened. I'm gonna start real quick with a technical update, and I'm gonna look with Ben into the marketing side of things. We're gonna have a look at the whole project at testnet, the delays. You're going to explain everything, go a bit into the details of the decision making, and then also, make just some recap and reflect on all of those things. So, with that, let's get started. I think very interesting from the tech side, which I can report now, which is a very big milestone, is that we finished the governance contracts. I think this was something we discussed in the past, and also we discussed very in detail with Jovan, or I discussed it in very detail with Jovan in the recent tech talk. So if you want to get into details, check that out. But the governance system for Jellyverse will be pretty extensive. So it was definitely a bigger milestone for us to finish those contracts. And I'm super happy about that. With this, we only have 3 more contracts to finish, which is the reward distribution contract for liquidity providers, the staking reward contract, and also the Jelly token contract itself, which actually the third one, the Jelly token contract, is almost done. We just have to finish some last parameters and then this should be settled. So if we look at the priorities on how we structure the development, the deployment of the testnet is actually on hold right now. So we have been working on this a couple of weeks ago, and then we discovered in another issue on DMC, which we also fixed together with the core developers. Took, I think, a couple of days. But since we had a bit of gap time there, we moved the developers to the contracts again, and then we decided to not move them to the testnet again and then continue the contracts. Why? It's very simple. Yes, very simple reason. First of all, moving the developers from deployment to the contracts itself is always a bit time effective, like time costly for them to refocus on the new task. But also for us, it's currently priority to wrap up the contract so we can push all of this into audits. And when we have time, then to not sit around and do nothing, but use this time actually for the deployments. Nevertheless, JellySwap is and also Jelly Stake is deployed on Spolia already. And I think in early Q1, Ben, we will probably share this also so that people can at least access this. And then as soon as possible, also access to the other test and deployment. So yeah, I think that was super quick and sweet, the technical side of things. So I think we can do a bigger recap now and have a look into all the other important topics as well. Let's get a bit started with marketing, and I guess the stage is yours, Ben.
Yeah, thanks, Santiago. We've done a lot of things that people have seen. A lot of people probably haven't seen. We've been to a few shows. We just came back 2 weeks ago from 2 events. One in Berlin, where I was moderating a panel about regulation, and then after that we went directly to Vienna. We made a road trip a little bit, and then we were at the startup event where we met a lot of cool people, interesting people with projects in this field, other entrepreneurs with experience, had good conversations, met interesting projects. One project was about NFC tags that you can add to art and any kind of physical stuff to basically NFT your real world products, which is very interesting and gives a lot of spin to potential application on merchandise or whatever. I mean, we're exploring that for sure. I think the events are very important. I've also been at an event in Dubai 2 months ago. Very, very exciting, very cool to meet people there. And Dubai seems to be a hub where a lot of people meet that are big people in the industry. I for example, talked to Hugo Fillion from Flare Network. He's the co-founder, and they're working on a very interesting oracle. If you compare that to Chainlink or other oracles available, and they also have like a very comprehensive bridge that they're working on, and there's just a massive project. So it's very interesting to see where we potentially could collaborate and partner up with. And yeah, I think the shows will be even bigger next year. I think this will be one of the main things we're going to do, to talk to people, build up partnerships, and see where we go with Jellyverse. And yeah, I think that is around the events. One big topic most have seen is Dimani. We partnered up with Dimani a while ago and have been running the first campaign now for a few weeks. For those who haven't heard about Dimani, Dimani is basically a platform where you can sign up and then you can complete quests, or you can call them tasks. And when you complete them, you gain XP or XP and a token. Currently, this is USDT. In the future, this will be Jelly token. And the idea is that we incentivize, or Jellyverse incentivizes people to push Jellyverse forward and help to grow the community. And I think it's an incredible tool for that. We've been in close contact with the founders at Dimani. We know them very close. We actually met them in Vienna. So a very cool platform, and there's even more to come next year. I think what we're gonna do is crank up the rewards for the leaderboard, especially when Jelly token will be available. So it will be super interesting for people to really become like one of the top 10 contributors. So you can really look forward to that. And yeah, I think Dimani is going as planned. Then we had the PR we were running a few weeks back, where we announced that we raised over $2 million, which was a big milestone for us, and obviously helps us now to build Jellyverse and be prepared for the future, what the future has to offer, and have some how do you say that, road ahead in terms of money. And yeah, that was very cool. I had an interview 2 weeks ago. It's a Startup Insider, which is a big German startup platform, where I was talking about Web3 and the real world assets and everything around Jellyverse, and why we think our approach with this is going to be the right one. So that is that. Besides the things we did for Jellyverse, we also obviously ran the NFC events together with Bene. I mean, Bene is the project lead on all of this, so the kudos go out to him. He's doing the heavy lifting most of the time. I think they were very successful. I mean, especially when it comes to the community aspect of it. Santiago, you've been at the last event. I think we've been almost 100 people there. So get to know each other, talk to the people, talk about DMC, talk about everything else. It's always cool to connect. And the NFC events are great for this specific thing. And also, I mean, they're a very cool platform for DeFi chain to push the message out. So yeah, that is about that. Yeah, I think you did an interview on NFC that is coming out soon. We're looking forward to that, where you explain to the layman what crypto is and why it's good and why it's great. So
yeah, that was a very tough one, but it's gonna be really cool. And I mean, we have a good partnership here with NFC. I mean, they have I think 80,000 subscribers on YouTube. It's a very big community, and they're more and more and repeatedly over and over again getting in touch with DeFi chain, Jellyverse, and everything related to this.
Yeah. I think that's it. I think some of the links, like the Manny, in case you haven't seen it or haven't looked at it, we're going to put in the description box, so you can check it out. And I think that sums it up quite nicely in marketing. We've done so many other things, but I mean, we can only highlight a few here. So let's leave it like that, and let's step to the next topic.
Definitely. So I think looking at it from the outside, our focus was definitely partnerships. Since the product is not live yet, I think when the product is live, we will heavily focus on the actual user. And right now was the partnership side, which is, I think, definitely the right choice here. And partnerships will help us a lot to scale, not only Jellyverse, but also DeFi chain as a whole. So yeah, Regarding the project itself, so if we zoom out generally, I think delay is something that is pretty in the focus. I mean, we wanted actually to launch in this year, so by end of the year on mainnet, which we will not, of course. But there's good reasons for it. We have the first reason, which obviously is the DMC itself. So small hiccups along the road, which made it a bit more time consuming to test the deployments, fix some issues, similar like other projects I experienced as well on DMC. But I think another component is the complexity of Jellyverse and the decentralization of Jellyverse. And maybe, Ben, you can explain briefly why we focus so much on decentralization and what it actually means also as a challenge here from the technical side.
Yeah, sure. So when we started with Jellyverse, for us, obviously, it was also the first time to explore what it means to set up a DeFi ecosystem. So we decided to choose Liechtenstein as our jurisdiction, and with a few reasons. One of the reasons is that Liechtenstein is part of the EEA, which is the European Economic Area. So what that means is that even though Liechtenstein is not part of the EU, Liechtenstein uses the law that is in place for the European Union and applies that to the law in Liechtenstein. So that allows Liechtenstein to become a partner in the economy of the European Union and be treated as any other European Union country. Something interesting people probably don't know, Switzerland, for example, is not part of the EEA. So this is something special in Liechtenstein, and Liechtenstein is very crypto friendly in a way that you don't have to explain to them what's going on. They know how DeFi works, how protocols work. So that was one of the main reasons why we said, okay, we're going to go for Liechtenstein. And that also means that in the future, when MiCA comes into play, which will be December 24, so the MiCA regulation is a regulation that has been defined by the European Union to regulate the crypto sector. And the one phrase that is in the MiCA regulation is that these regulations don't apply to fully decentralized projects. So everybody now is asking, like, what is fully decentralized? What does that mean? And we have done a lot of legal consulting about that, and we've read a lot about this, and we talked to a lot of people on shows. I mean, the lawyers are everywhere when you go to the shows, of course. I mean, everybody needs them. And we got a few insights. So this is not defined yet what that means, but this will probably be finalized in 25 at some point, because when MiCA kicks in, this will become the next topic. Like, what does fully decentralized mean? So how we interpret that and how we apply this to Jellyverse is we are completely avoiding things like centralized control instances within the ecosystem, like admin rights, like committees that have specific rights that could shut off something. This is one major component. The whole on-chain governance is something. So changes need to be executed automatically without a central entity pushing a button. So all of these things that seem very easy are actually very complicated, because if you look at the landscape, the DeFi landscape as a whole, there are very few projects, and I'm almost unable to name some, besides probably Bitcoin, that can be called fully decentralized. So this is obviously a challenge for us, especially to have all of this at start. I mean, you guys probably remember when the on-chain governance on DeFi chain kicked in. I mean, this took 2 years, and we have all of this and even more right from the start. And this obviously, it was a bit more than we expected in the initial definition of the roadmap, and that caused a lot of delay. But I think in the end it will be good, because people cannot blame us about maybe a lot of things, but they cannot blame us about being not decentralized. So that is something that we are also very proud of. So yeah, that is a little bit about governance. I think we can do a dedicated video about this, because this is our feeling to talk about this. But I think for you guys to understand, that was a good summary of the situation and our approach to that.
Definitely. No, this was a great summary. And yeah, I think we can dive into dedicated video and explain also the benefits. I think people really underestimate what benefits could come with truly decentralization. But yeah, I think we have it pretty much we summed it up pretty much. We have the technical side, we covered the marketing side, generally on the whole topic of launching, delay, and so on, testnet. I think what might be interesting, generally speaking, recap one more time, that we also launched a website. So if you want to check this out, it's definitely and very interesting. You can read a bit about the whole ecosystem. Of course, you can also find the documentation here. So check this out as well. If you want to read a bit more about the details, how things work, how the ecosystem is set up, what makes it special and unique compared to others. And if you also want to contribute, maybe, because this is definitely not fully complete, then yeah, just reach out. I think we would highly appreciate this. And of course, another reminder that the whole thing is already deployed on Sepolia, and we will definitely give you access here as soon as possible in early Q1, when also the team is back from Christmas holidays and can make sure that everyone is available to collect feedback and help out in case you need some help or see how the beta testing is going on. So I think with this in mind, we covered everything pretty quickly. We're 16 minutes in. I think that's enough for now. Ben, thank you so much for joining. Guys, have a wonderful Christmas. Have a wonderful New Year's Eve, and enjoy the holidays. And then see you back with fresh power in early Q1. Bye.
Happy holidays. Bye-bye.